All right, here's a pattern for the stove. Lifting up on the folds and putting the lines in makes it so easy when you bend the pattern. And I'm poking holes for where those little doors are going to be, and also this is the placement for the shelves. Now you could also have cut the doors out of the pattern itself, just cut them out completely and just drawn a square onto your fabric sandwich for where the doors go, but I chose to do it this way. And then you just connect the dots and mark where everything is going to be positioned. And that just makes it so easy to continue on. So once everything's drawn in, we want to cut everything out. And as always, I leave the pieces all attached so that I don't lose track of them. And I just cut them almost all the way through, but not quite, until I'm ready to sew. And I'm going to use my tiny little pointy scissors to cut out the doors. Now the doors will have to be zigzagged around, and the opening as well will have to be zigzagged around, and then the doors reattached. So once I cut everything out, that would be our next step. So I'm leaving those attached until I'm ready to sew them. And then these are the shelves. I put them right next to each other, and I'm going to keep them attached until I'm ready to use them. Those should be zigzagged around as well. And of course, you can always omit the shelves. So here's everything cut apart and reattached back together. Looks so cute. And that is, you can fold it all up to see how nicely it all fits together. And then I'm going to paint it next. I sometimes will paint it after I put it together, but I'm going to paint this first because it's painted on the inside. So I decided I was going to paint it gold on the inside. I like gold, as you've probably figured out by now. So a lot of times I paint it after it's put together, but I'm going to paint the gold on the inside first. I have to do it before I put it together. So here I'm painting the outside now, and I couldn't decide between pink or gold for the outside of the stove, so I'm using both. I'm putting this pink on the edges, and I just love the way it turned out. So once the painting is done, you definitely want to let it dry before you do anything else. And just because we painted over the sewing, you might want to just fold it up when it's drying so that it's easier to fold it. This paint is super soft, so it's really easy to bend everything. And the next part is going to be sewing these corners, and you just crush this down like it's a piece of paper and just sew those corners together, and they fit beautifully together. And here it is all sewn together. You can open up the corners with your fingers a little bit, and this is the last part that will be sewn, that top. And here it is with a top sewn. Looks awesome. And next I'm going to sew the beads on. These beads are great. I found these beads somewhere, I don't know where, that look just like knobs to me on a stove. So that's what I use for the stove knobs, and I think they look really great. So finishing those up, I put 4 on for the stove, and then I put a 5th one further off to the side, so 5 altogether. And here are my adorable little knobs for the stove door. I have a collection of beads that I can always go to. I've just collected them over the years, and I always have something I can use. So because I make so many things, I do that. But you probably have something at home that you can use. You can always glue the beads on. I always sew them on. Here is the stove. It's so adorable. So the elements, I make the elements by using soft floral wire, and it's very easy to bend. I use this tool to start it, and then I just bend it with my fingers. and I make 4 of those, and then I paint them black, and then you just glue those on. So they look really, really cute on there. And here it is all finished. It's so adorable. And I think it looks just like a stove. It's so cute. And that's it. And it's all ready for baking. So I put the shelves in on the inside, but of course you don't have to. You can always skip that.